If you've ever really pushed yourself during a workout, you know the feeling I'm talking about. It's that, well, satisfying but kind of brutal ache that lets you know you did something. But what's actually going on inside your muscles? Today we're going to break down the science behind the pain that comes after the gain.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You absolutely crush a leg day, you're feeling on top of the world, and then 2 days later, a single flight of stairs looks like Mount Everest. It's this universal experience for anyone who works out. But why? Why does the pain wait to make its grand entrance?
Well, that feeling has a name, and it's called delayed onset muscle soreness, or as most people call it, DOMS. This isn't the burn you feel during a workout. No, this is that deep, dull, aching pain that kind of creeps up on you a full day or two after you've really challenged your body.
And the timing is what makes it so weird. It doesn't happen right away. It starts to ramp up over the first 24 hours, and then, damn, it hits its absolute peak somewhere between 48 and 72 hours. That's why Tuesday morning can feel so much worse than Monday after a big weekend workout. But the good news is, it's not forever. It usually fades away within a week.
Okay, so we know when it hurts, but the million-dollar question is, why? What is actually happening deep inside your muscle fibers that causes this very specific, very delayed pain? Let's dive into the science.
All right, let's just get this out of the way first. For decades, everyone, your gym teacher, your coach, that guy at the gym, blamed lactic acid. You've heard it a million times, right? Oh, you're sore, it's the lactic acid. Well, turns out that's a total myth. The real reason, what the science actually points to, is something called microtrauma. We're talking about teeny, tiny, microscopic tears in the muscle fibers themselves. And here's the smoking gun that completely debunks the lactic acid theory. Your body is incredibly good at clearing that stuff out. Your lactic acid levels are pretty much back to normal within an hour after you finish your workout. So think about it. How could something that's gone from your system in 60 minutes be the cause of pain that peaks 2 days later? The timeline just doesn't add up.
So these little micro tears are caused by a very specific kind of movement, an eccentric contraction. Now that sounds fancy, but all it means is the muscle is lengthening while it's under tension. Think about the down part of a bicep curl, or running downhill, or lowering yourself into a squat. That's the eccentric part. It creates way more mechanical stress, and that's what causes the damage. The other part, lifting the weight up, that's a concentric contraction. It just doesn't cause the same level of soreness.
All right, so we've got these tiny tears in our muscles. Now what? What can we actually do about it? How do we manage the soreness so we can, walk down the stairs without holding on for dear life? Let's look at what the science says about hacking your recovery.
I know what you're thinking. The last thing you want to do when you're sore is move. Your brain is just screaming, couch. But here's the thing. The research points in the exact opposite direction. The single best thing you can do is active recovery. We're talking gentle stuff, a walk, a light swim, some easy yoga. This gets the blood flowing, which is like a delivery service for your muscles. It brings in all the good stuff for repair and helps carry away all the waste products.
So, what about all the other stuff out there? The fancy cryo chambers, the massage guns? Well, the evidence is pretty clear. Some things work really well. Cryosonus and percussive massage? Yeah, the data says they're highly effective. Whole body vibration is moderately helpful. But what about good old-fashioned static stretching? You might be surprised to hear that studies show it has almost no meaningful benefit for reducing this kind of soreness.
And this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Look at that huge chunk for active recovery. That's your number one tool. Thermal therapies like cryo and heat and massage are also big, important pieces of the pie. But then, look at that tiny little sliver for static stretching. It really drives the point home. Your time and energy are probably better spent just going for a nice, easy walk.
Okay, let's pause here for a second because this next part is critically important. DOMS is normal. It's a sign of adaptation, but it is not the same thing as an actual injury. Knowing how to tell the difference is absolutely key to keeping yourself safe and working out for the long haul. This is the question we all ask ourselves, usually while groaning as we try to get out of a chair. Is this the good pain I'm supposed to feel, or is this a red flag that something is actually wrong? Let's break down the warning signs. So here's how to think about it. DOMS is usually a dull, generalized ache across the whole muscle, and it often feels a little better with some gentle movement. An injury, on the other hand, is usually a sharp, stabbing, localized pain. And if that pain is getting worse, not better, or you see serious swelling, bruising, or something just looks off, that's your body sending up a major flare. Time to stop and see a doctor.
So recovery is great,
But what if we could play offense instead of defense? What if we could minimize that crazy soreness from the get-go? Well, we can. Let's talk about the most powerful tool of all, prevention.
The secret to prevention is this amazing thing our bodies do called the repeated bout effect, or RBE. It sounds technical, but it's really simple. Your body is smart. It learns from experience. After you do a new exercise just once, your muscles go, whoa, okay, I see what's happening. And they immediately start building up their defenses so they're more protected for the next time.
And it's an incredible process. That first workout causes the microtrauma, which kicks off this massive repair and upgrade response. Your body doesn't just patch the tiny holes, it reinforces the whole structure. It improves the communication between your brain and the muscle. It basically rebuilds it to be stronger and more resilient for the next time you throw that same challenge at it.
Now listen up, because this is the absolute best part. This is the real game changer. You know that old saying, no pain, no gain? Well, when it comes to this protective effect, that's just wrong. You do not have to suffer through intense, debilitating soreness to get your muscles to adapt. You can actually prime them without all the pain. And there's actual data on this. A 2015 study found that doing those eccentric movements at just 10% of your max strength was enough to trigger this protective shield. That super light, easy workout dramatically cut down on soreness from a really tough workout even a week later. The takeaway is simple: ease into things.
So when you think about it, that muscle soreness isn't just something to be endured. It's a conversation. It's a signal from your body that it's learning, it's adapting, and it's getting stronger. It's literally the feeling of progress. So the question isn't how to avoid it, but what to do with it. Knowing that your body is ready to adapt to whatever you throw at it, what are you going to teach it to do next?